Hi, I'm Rosie.
Yay, I'm back on YouTube.
Welcome to my channel. We're looking to what's going on intuitively in the world, from the political to the personal.
You can book personal readings on my website, rosieinsights.com. Rosie and Karina News Digest. Rosie Insights started about 7 years ago as Rosie Psychic Investigator, looking at news related to the Trump administration. Over the years, I have followed the practice of doing research about what's going on in the news, making that a core feature of my content. As of November 7th, 2024, I have had Karina as my daily guest slash partner for the series after the election. We are committed to working as a pair on this series at least until this election situation is resolved. Karina lives in Arizona, loves crystals, and is a certified aromatherapist. She is working on her website for private client healing appointments. We'll share her info once it's ready. Karina started as Rosie's, meaning my client, about 5 years ago, and then we became friends and started sharing the conversations we were having privately already. This channel is about looking at current news and events through an intuitive lens and sharing intuitive information. This content is for entertainment purposes only. Trust your intuition. This channel is just one source. Do your research, trust your intuition. You are the master of your own beliefs. What we won't do: conform. We do not conform with what other channels say necessarily. This is an independent channel, as is theirs. If you have a question about what you heard on another channel, ask that channel. On to today's episode. If you like this video, subscribe and press like. Thank you for watching.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Rosie and Karina Psych Investigators. Okay.
Hello.
Hello. All right. So guys, let's get started. There's a few things to discuss today. The first thing is going to be a continuation of the news about Finland, because now they have evidence. So it's interesting. Okay, so but this is the protection, right? I'd like to
Yes.
ask for protection, a beautiful ray of light coming on top of my head as I breathe in. I feel my lungs as I breathe out. I create a circle. I create a circle. I step into it. I step into it. I feel protected. I feel connected. I'd like to ask that information come only from the highest sources, that it create the good and only the good. And so it is. Okay, so let's get ready. Okay, so this is a website that is shipping related.
Mm-hmm.
I found this link to this on the X platform. So it's a fascinating article that look at this, because Finland seized the tank. I don't think that when remember there was a Chinese vessel,
Right.
and that I think they just were investigating, but they weren't allowed. There was something where it wasn't the same, but this time they did go in. So Russia-linked cable cutting tanker, which we talked about yesterday, seized by Finland, was loaded with spying equipment. So, and here it is. Listening equipment was placed on EOS and related tanker Swift Rider to monitor NATO naval and aircraft activities.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we need?
Exactly.
So it was a
Exactly.
spy ship. Okay, so
Yeah. Loaded with spy equipment that could
suspect,
pick up all of it.
right, suspected of damaging underwater electricity cable on Christmas Day, was kitted out with special transmitting receiving devices that were used to monitor naval activity. So, interesting.
I know. It's like,
Okay, the high-tech equipment on board was abnormal for a merchant ship and consumed more power from the ship's generator, leading to repeated blackouts. A source familiar with the vessel who provided commercial maritime services to it as recently as 7 months ago, as well as Eagle S, another related tanker from the same ownership cluster, also had similar equipment installed. Lloyd's List was stowed. So, okay.
mm-hmm,
So these are two of the 26 elderly Russia-linked tankers with opaque ownership structures connected to three related ship managers, including two sanctioned by the UK government for propping up Putin's war machine. The sanctions circumventing tankers were bought between 2022 and 2023 and placed under bareboat charter arrangements with Iger Shipping, the shipping arm of Russia oil trader Litasco.
mm-hmm,
Okay, so here the tanker should slow down and drag its anchor around the cable around midday, December 25th. Another three cables were also damaged.
gosh.
Wow, look, this source who declined to be identified to protect their safety supplied at least 60 confidential documents about Eagle S to Lloyd's List in June, including the vetting report that outlined many safety deficiencies discovered during an inspection undertaking while at anchor in Danish waters that month. Okay, so
Yeah.
wow, look at this. Wow, look at this. 20 huge portable suitcases along with many laptops that had keyboards for Turkish and Russian languages when calling at Turkey and Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I know. It's really an interesting article.
That's right. So, okay, so they were monitoring all native. Okay, so, all right. So, wow, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's it. So that's it. So,
Yeah, and somewhere in there it does say that it was capable of picking up all of NATO's,
that's right.
you know, ships and airplanes,
Mm-hmm.
all that frequency around them.
Mm-hmm.
So they could monitor everything.
That's right. That's right. So, I mean, is that it? Like, this is a question. I
Yeah,
mean, like, so,
exactly.
okay, so that's the question, right, Karina? Like, is that so I guess we can stop share here and just ask the question. So it's because they were so what's next? So Finland boarded the ship, right? So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
they have evidence. What's going on? What does Finland have on this? Oh, I see they get the communications. Oh, it's different. It's saying it is different from last time because this time I feel like they were caught in the act or something more than the other one. It was almost immediate. And I see that they
Mm-hmm.
were in Finnish waters. Maybe that's what it was. Because, and by the way, this is something that a lot of people don't know. I didn't know either before, that the one of the reasons why it's so complicated to monitor is that a lot of times they go to international waters. There's no ownership of the water.
Right.
So this time I do think they were on territorial waters of Finland. That's why they were caught. And
Yeah.
then Finland has the authority to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So they got the phones. So that's right. And
And at this time they got the equipment. They
that's right.
got the spy equipment.
But I think what's interesting is that it suggests this. So the person, the person who gave this information about it's not the police necessarily. That's what I understood here, right?
Right.
So, okay, okay, more power. So this is okay. So it's the person who did some sort of what is it called? Inspection of this
Right.
that knew this information. And I feel sad. I'm worried about them because the people will be able to figure out who it is from
Yeah.
this. I think God help them.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be okay, but right, like so anyway, so that's right. So now, so what is Mark Rutte like? Is that enough to let me ask this, does Mark Rutte consider this to be enough to take action? Okay, so
Okay.
there's Mark. Yes, that's
Yes.
the thing. And he's so upset about the plane that fell. Still, because it was like what he
Mm,
saw when he was prime minister, when in the Netherlands, right? That's what that
right.
happened. Now, the other thing that I'm getting here is, okay, so
And he's furious about that equipment.
that's right, that's right. So,
Yes.
okay, so then, oh, so okay, so that's what I think. Yes, now he wants to. That's act now. We have to act now before. That's right. So Karina, let's pause here because I think there's another. Let's see, 1 second. Okay, so I paused because I wanted to look at something, a comment that someone made. I'm not looking at the comment right now, but the comment was about Mark Rutte making decisions on his own. The comment said something to the effect of, he can't make decisions, he can't just decide himself. He needs the approval of all the member countries. So I went, just looked it up, and in fact, let's share here. It's true. So I just wanted to double check because here it is. Okay, so decisions and consultations. This is the NATO website. Okay, you can see here.
Mm-hmm.
Every day, member countries consult and take decisions on security issues at all levels in a variety of fields. A NATO decision is the expression of the collective will of all 32 member countries, since all decisions are taken by consensus. Let's actually see here. If because you know what I was talking to Corina just now. What about okay, after discussion consultation? I wanted to know that does anybody have the ability to block let's see, because you know what I was, let me go back here. So you see, okay,
Right.
the civilian and military experts come to NATO each day to exchange information. So my question is, okay, let's look at, this is the list of the countries, okay?
Okay.
So the one country that uh concerns me here is Hungary, right? Hungary is uh on the, it's on the fence because we have a
Mm-hmm.
Russian puppet in power. So my question is, if they decide to do it, uh, I mean, could the Orban block action? Could it happen? If
So,
we, how is that's what I like, how are they going to
yeah.
make a decision? How
So
are
it has to be all 32. It's not a
they,
majority.
it's saying consensus. It didn't say, okay, let me pause here. So, okay, 1 second. Let me pause. 1 second here. So, okay, so I know it's people. This is that it's under the umbrella of Psychic Channel, but a lot of it is information research. So just going back here to the question about if somebody. So can we ask directly? Could Hungary block some sort of action against Russia? Could Hungary? Could Orban? Let's see. Could Orban block any? Wow, I see that he's tied to the wall. They're like, I mean, not literally, right? They're like
Right.
he can't, but no, he can't. They know,
No.
they know in advance that that's what he will do, but there's no, they're like, no, we know what you're about. I'm not sure about.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
Okay, so it's too
Yeah.
big. It's saying it's too big.
Yeah.
So no, he can't. So let's ask maybe another way of asking this is, is Mark Rutte free to, is there any, are there any obstacles in front of Mark Rutte right now? If to kind of do something about Russia right now. Does Mark Rutte have any obstacles, any resistance to?
I don't see any.
Yeah, I see there's one person sort of like a lot lower ranking that could be compromised, but doesn't have the power to stop it.
Mm-mm.
Um, and so no, because it's saying that there are some countries that are like tomorrow, let's move.
Yeah,
Really
exactly.
upset. They're like they're scared. It's like this trash is coming. What are we gonna do about it, right?
Right. And
So
they're getting scared because if by chance they were to inaugurate Trump, it's going to escalate
mhm,
overnight
mhm.
tenfold.
That's right. That's right. So yes.
So it's do it now, do it now.
Okay. All right. So that's right. It's like it's saying it's all go. Yes. So it's saying, and I get the sense of urgency about it. And I was talking to Corina, by the way, about the whole they, people like the comments, people get scared, they're fearful, and we can't read too much of the comments because it's about really do what I think Spirit gave us. this mission. I believe it, Karina. Really, I
Oh,
feel it, right?
yeah, of
To
course.
share the information and to go deeper. It's not about like, oh, people feel like it's like you have to keep your eyes on the prize or keep focused. So that's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
all here. And but that's what I pick up ultimately. Just going back to the issue, right? So
Right.
this is why we're going deep and investigating this. And so it
Mm-hmm.
feels very solid to me, Corey, on this issue. It really does,
Yeah,
right?
it does too. And I felt much better reading that about the word consensus because he doesn't need anybody,
Mm-hmm.
they all just have to agree basically, and he can do what he needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, they're all like, do it and do something now.
And it's I'm getting that it's not like the UN I think the UN Security Council, one country can block, like the US blocks a lot of things, Russia blocks things, China can block. So it's not like it's not the same. So
Mm-mm,
so
mm-mm.
that's what's interesting about NATO. Okay.
Yeah.
So
And I think at this point, if anybody did try to block it, like we were saying, they got your number with
mm,
that. And so, you're going to be looked at and scrutinized and investigated and torn apart yourself.
mm,
So I don't think anybody's going to go against it. And he's just going to keep his mouth shut.
mm. Okay. Okay. All right, cool. Okay. So wow, Corinna, cool, cool, cool. So
Yeah.
okay. So I think we're settled, right, with that.
Yep. Settled on that one.
Okay. And it seems very urgent. We don't have do have an exact date. No, I don't think we do. Okay.
No,
Right?
that's
Right.
not something we
Exact
can,
date. Oh, that's right. So,
yeah,
all right.
that's
So,
on them, not us.
mhm. All right. So let's pause here and then go to the next. All right. So here we are. It's a beautiful day. No, this is the kind of funny thing that happened that now there's a brawl in the MAGA world as the MAGA realize that Elon Musk and his friends are not interested in the little people. What? Are you kidding me? Because so the whole story is that, and by the way, these people are scammers. Vivek Ramaswamy, right? Like
Yes.
they're not great people. But the whole point is that he really stood by this point where he said we need to improve HB1 visas. That most of them 75% of them at least go to Indians most of the time because they're highly skilled, a lot, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
and it's cheaper for companies, even though you probably have they have to pay some sort of immigration ish thing. It's the salaries are lower when you get people hired on visas like that.
Right.
So that tends to be. So then he was saying, oh, so what Vivek said is something to the effect of there's a problem with the education system in America. We need to focus on making kids like love math. I think he makes a point, but it's like the whole but the whole thing is that at the same time, Elon Musk wants to destroy education, right? So you can't have it
Right.
both ways. So,
Right.
okay, so all right, okay, so let's see here. Okay, now let's see. Okay, days after the powerful allies of Trump in Silicon Valley took to social media to argue for a greater number of high-skilled immigrants, with a side swipe at American culture for emphasizing mediocrity over excellence. Some members of the far right said such policies would make America look like India. So here it is. Her comments, so Marjorie Taylor Greene wants to be the diplomat. She wants to bridge the
Hmm.
gap. And then her comments other Republican lawmakers have publicly denounced calls from tech entrepreneurs to increase foreign high-skilled immigration. The United States graduates over 500,000 STEM students per year. If there's an issue in the tech workforce, then we need to address it at the educational level, not import a problem away. So that's kind of interesting. I mean, look at them. They're two
Yeah.
of them are immigrants, right? Vivek
Right.
and Elon Musk. So, not that there's anything wrong with that, but there's something, there's an irony here, right?
Well,
So
I am a little confused at them calling them immigrants when we have immigrants in this country that they're trying to ship out of here on day one. So, I mean, I know they're two different nationalities and whatnot, but
yeah, but
when
but
you're
but
addressing immigrants,
right. But that's the whole point is that they want to like does it make sense? Like I think
yeah,
they're not on the same page in terms of immigration. And MAGA is very clear on this. They don't like immigrants, they don't want immigrants. But so what's going on really? What's going to happen with this? How is this going to I mean, I know, let's see, well, how is this going to impact? I mean, given that we don't really see it going forward very much, but it's
Yeah.
an interesting point of friction. Okay, so let's see. Do you want to look?
Hmm.
So let's see. Okay, let me ask here. So what is going on with MAGA world? Now they allowed Elon Musk in, and now Elon Musk wants, or at least said he wants more so-called high-skilled immigrants. By the way, when he fired a lot of people, when he bought Twitter, he fired a lot of people. I guess the rumor was that the people that stayed were because they only stayed because they needed. The problem with the also H-1B visa is that you are almost like a slave to the company because if you leave, you have to get a job in like 30 days. It's really, really hard to get a job
Right.
once you leave. So
Hmm.
you're stuck, like you kind of have to put up with whatever. So that's another way that Elon Musk controls, I think, in that way.
Right. Of
He
course he
creates
does.
horrible work conditions, and then the only very desperate people like that, like they will want to stay. So
Right.
let's go back here again. So what does that show? What's going to happen here with their what's happening with this conflict? Okay, interesting. Oh, it's interesting. Wow. It, it shows me that just like that it was in the interview with Peter Thiel where he suddenly doesn't know what to say when someone asks about the guy who killed the CEO
Yeah.
and and it's similar here where those people are used to privately talk about how all the things they want to do to the world, blah, 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 and then suddenly they're talking about this publicly.
Hmm.
There's a lot of those Trump people, the MAGA people are angry people in
Hmm.
general. They want to find, and it's like if you say, because that's the whole point, isn't it? Look at how unqualified all the people that they appointed are. And so isn't the whole point of MAGA to be unqualified? Because that's exactly, it's very telling, right? That I really think Elon Musk and the other guy, I don't know that it's not because they love Trump, it's because they are opportunists. So this is their
Right.
and it could have been X, Y, or Z. It doesn't really matter. It's a means to an end.
Right.
But those MAGA people, when you start treating them, it doesn't make sense, then they get really upset
Hmm.
because I think they say they don't understand populism on a gut level because they just do whatever they want. They're like, oh, we'll fire them if a person doesn't agree with them. And in the political world, that there has consequences.
Right.
So I see that they're like, oh, blah, 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 like, what is it, pontificating, and I see the anger growing
Hmm.
that they're
Hmm.
not going to be because in their fantasy world, I think they thought they're going to do this thing, and like all the MAGA voters because we don't think they got to
Yeah.
the well, all those MAGA people, they're like, oh, but no, they already are showing, "Oh, we don't care about you. We think
Right.
you think you're lower than us." This is
Hmm.
what essentially how it's saying that even though I kind of agree broadly speaking in the sense of like, yes, immigrants are very smart and they should be hired in those high level jobs. I feel like it's a mistake to insult people like that because right
Absolutely.
that's what I think those MAGA people, that's why they are the way they are. It's because they actually believe that people took jobs from them unfairly when most of the time they either didn't go into those fancy elite schools or they would never get the job that they think the immigrant took from them.
Right.
So
Exactly.
so it's saying they're just living in this fantasy world that is sort of driven by hate. And
Yes.
if the immigrant, especially a dark-skinned guy like Vivek, says something, they're like, "What?" Because did you see Corinna? There was an interview with I think it was Ann Coulter. She said
Hmm.
to his face, "Nobody's going to vote for you because you're Indian."
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
like,
They didn't like that in the first place.
okay. So I have a question. What does Vivek? What does he think?
He didn't.
Okay,
Yeah. He thinks he's
yeah.
one of the gods. He can get away with it all too.
Okay, that's right.
But no,
So I see that it's like and I have to say from the beginning, most of them. As what Vivek, whenever I see his face, he comes across as extremely narcissistic. He's very
yeah.
like, oh, hello, like he's very smooth and like, hello, da, da, da. He's so narcissistic that he thinks, and I see that he's having conversation with these people who say racist things to him. He's like, I'm so much better than you. You have no
Yeah.
idea in his mind,
Yeah.
he thinks.
Yeah.
But it's coming out. That's the difference, is that
Right.
if you're saying that he doesn't get the rules, if you're a white guy, you could say these things, but not if you're dark skinned. You can't
Exactly.
say that.
Yeah.
You can't. Because, and then they're like, wow, I see that somebody called him, you know what, Vivek, you only got these jobs because white men allowed you to get them. And don't you think that don't you ever think that you would like, in other words, he's too big for his breeches. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
just like a they say he's a term, colored man.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he gets to do whatever he wants. We choose. So
Right.
yeah, so then what? No, I see that
You're,
they're
he's
corrupt.
only there because he's
That's
doing
right.
their bidding,
That's right.
but
You
he's
know,
getting a
he's
little too
corrupt.
big. Yeah.
Corrupt anyway. So in other words, it doesn't matter. He's corrupt. He's gonna go down, they're saying.
Right.
But it still is, I think so. By the time, okay, you know what? Maybe this is, I'm gonna pause here. The question that would be an interesting question to ask is that this, so Vivek and Elon Musk are doing this Doge thing, which is the Department of Government Efficiency. So is this going to actually happen? I mean, it's another way to ask the
Yeah.
question, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is this Doge situation going to come to pass? Is it going to happen?
I don't see it happening
No.
either.
I see this image interesting, like a dog, like because that was a whole dog crypto thing, like a logo and
Mm-hmm.
thing, and all these papers flying, like like a if somebody leaves an office in the middle of like they just like there's all these papers and it just fades away. There's nobody there.
Right.
It's just like a
There's
plan,
nothing to it.
concept of a plan. Remember,
Yeah.
so
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
concept.
There's nothing to it.
That's right. So, and I see that they have collected money and like they already made the plans and like they want the budget. They say this is the budget, so we want the money to go to our friends. That's what the point is.
Yeah.
Again, I feel like it's interesting. I do get that there's a lot of MAGA people. They're like, you MFers are not
Yeah.
gonna touch it. So already there's a conflict there. And I see people are gonna talk like nobody. I see ultimately nobody likes Elon Musk. They actually like Trump, some of them, but Elon Musk, no one does.
No.
So,
No. And he is out there with Vivek talking about getting rid
mhm,
of
mhm,
Medicare, Social
that's right.
Security, the VA benefits, and
Mhm.
you know,
Wow.
when Trump says that stuff, for some reason they think he's lying. They
That's right.
because he says fake news so much that they
Yeah.
just think everything Trump says is fake.
Hmm.
No, he what he says is projecting.
Mm,
He's always telling the truth about himself, is what he's
interesting.
lying to other people, but he's telling the truth about himself.
Mm,
But when Elon and Vivek say it, that gets under their skin, man. That gets under their skin
mm,
because, they've put up with Trump for so long and their orange guy is their guy. And then these two guys come along and one's not
mhm,
the
mhm,
color that they think he should be.
mhm,
And the other one's a billionaire who's telling them that he's going to take everything away from them.
mm,
I think
mm,
that's finally starting to hit them
mm. Wow. Okay.
that that could actually happen if, whoa, 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 whoa.
Wow.
Trump didn't really mean that.
That's right.
But these guys do.
That's
They
right.
can't correlate.
That's right. So that's very interesting, Karina. Wow. So that's
Yeah.
it. So that's what we catch here about does do so no, I don't see I see it's just that they have these plans, they kind of have made lists, but they don't get to the point where they can actually make these decisions. And I see
No.
that they're already upset about Elon Musk because he's over publicizing what is saying he's over publicizing what was always ultimately a like an advisory role. And now he's making and I see that Trump is upset about it. So it's already I see they're souring. It's true. Okay.
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah. Oh
all
yeah.
right, we gotta answer this thing. Okay, so
Yeah.
so this is the for this topic. Let's move to the next.
Recording in
Now, something else that came up as we were just talking about the Doge and Vivek and Elon is this thing about the inauguration. Some comments had mentioned this. I saw that this is weeks ago even that Jeff Bezos donated money and so there was somebody else, OpenAI donated money, Zuckerberg all around 1 million. So now these big companies are, it's almost like this is corruption, right? Like you have to donate. So
Yeah.
so they are all basically being told to donate money because if you don't, then you're not gonna get, right? He's gonna go after you, whatever. So my question is, okay, so
Oh my God.
okay, so all these lists of companies, Intuit, Pharmaceutical Research, Goldman Sachs, AT&T, Black and Decker. So what is going on here with this? what is up with this? What is the story of the inauguration fund? And by the way, this is it's just let's focus on this. But if you guys remember, there was a whole issue with the last one where there was like, remember Ilya Brody, and there was like a lot of corruption in the last one when he was president as well.
Hmm.
So let's ask, so what's up with this inauguration money? Okay. Oh wow, it's saying that Trump was like counting the dollars, like this is how you do business with us. Pay
Right.
oh, pay to play. That's it. Pay to play. You start with this is how you teach them. You start with at first you gotta donate something. You know what I'm saying? Like a
Hmm. Hmm.
mobster. Like you gotta do, we gotta show that you have a goodwill towards us. You know what I'm saying? That's America. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Get a
So,
horse head in your bed if not.
that's it. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And I
And
see. Go ahead.
and they're being told that they need to do it before he gets into office because whoever didn't bow first will have
Hmm.
hell to pay afterwards if you didn't go ahead and just donate.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it's already threatening and everything.
Hmm. Hmm. Wow. Wow, that's it. So this is it. So then, and I see that immediately I also saw the image of Lara Trump in the background, kind of like taking the money and transferring to some other account. Like she's a treasurer, or like there's something where they took it. Well, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I would totally
we don't
trust
even
her.
know. And I see that the actual inauguration, the plan is to just get hamburgers or something. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but it's just like, no, it's for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not gonna feed them. It's not our job. No. So
Yeah.
they don't really, it's just for them. It's like, oh, here and here's like a 20 million for you, 20, the family. It's like a mob family,
Yeah.
basically.
This is
So
pretty much what they do with every
that's right.
transaction.
That's right.
Everybody gets a cut.
Now what happens? So what happens to this money? Are they gonna, what's up with that? What happens to this money? What happens? See that eventually could be frozen. And I see that some of the companies, it's like a pledge to donate or something, but I don't know whether they transfer because it is a super PAC. It's kind of it's illegal. It's saying this is illegal. You can't just
Yeah.
solicit money for something like this
Right. I
because
think the ones they seize it, whoever did
okay,
donate. And the rest is, like you said,
wow.
they haven't donated yet.
All right. Okay. So okay, cool. Interesting. Wow. All right. So let's go to the interesting. To the next subject. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so now this is an interesting subject that some of you have mentioned. I mean, several of you have mentioned this idea that Trump could be constitutionally disqualified from holding office. And it's had something to do, I think, with the 14th Amendment and so forth. And so these are the editors of the law review, so they know what they obviously know what they're talking about. Now, I was talking to Corinne about this, and the issue I have with this is that I saw, to me, and I know it sounds dramatic what I'm going to say, but I think the justice system is completely compromised. We cannot look at this. Supreme Court is a top.
Yeah.
I don't think that we could trust that this is, you know, how there has to be, this is why I feel like it's something that Biden needs to do directly because we cannot rely on either
Mm-mm.
Congress or Supreme Court or the justice system because it's gonna take forever and they're gonna do an appeal of the appeal and this and that. It's not going to work.
Right.
Takes too long. That's my logic. Okay, that's my sense.
Hmm.
But let's ask. Because and I think that there was this the other day when Thurgood Marshall came through and said, yes, Rosie, too many lawyers say this and that can be done. But because the thing is that it hasn't worked. It's a fact. The laws
Right.
exist, yes, they do, but they're not being applied correctly, right?
No, it
They're
would have been done already.
Trump would be in prison if
Exactly.
it's so if we rely on the system,
Yeah,
it's
because you and I would have been,
right.
if we would have done one of these things, we'd be
That's
in
right.
prison.
But somehow there's always a break, it looks like, right?
Yeah.
So the question is this so then let's just get to the question, the meat of the question, which um are they going to is Trump okay is Trump going to could Trump be removed from the office because of the 14th Amendment or some other and or being constitutionally disqualified, right? So let's
Hmm.
so Okay, so could Trump be removed from that because that's a theory that some people have that because he's constitutionally unqualified because of the insurrection. Let's see. So what do we see? So could Trump be disqualified?
I get the same answer. He could be, because it is something they could use, but because of the lawmakers in the Supreme Court, no,
No,
it's
and
not
they
going to
and
happen.
I see that Biden's like, look at my son. They
Exactly.
they're so pro gun, and then the guy had the gun, and there was some huge like they made a big fuss out of it, make big.
Right.
So they're not gonna go on that. And I
No.
see that many constitutional scholars have also urged him to do that. And he's like, we know these we know where their bread is buttered.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Mm-hmm.
can't trust them right now.
No. And like
So
I picked up earlier too, I believe Biden is going after the crime,
mm-hmm,
and the 14th Amendment applies to, yes, we all know he was part of an insurrection,
mm,
but that hasn't been proven yet. They
mm,
haven't taken him to court.
mm,
So that could be a technicality.
mm,
He's always after a technicality or something.
mm-hmm,
So I don't think that it would behoove him at all to go
mm-hmm.
after that. I think he needs to go after the crime.
That's right, that's right. So in other words, I think that he knows, and I see that Biden, oh, I think he's a lawyer also by training. He might be.
Yes, he
Yeah.
is.
So I see this, like, no, I understand your point. No, it makes sense, but in practice, that's not what's working. Look around.
Yeah.
So okay, so that's that now. All right.
I mean, Congress had so many opportunities to get him out of there when he
Mm-hmm.
was impeached, even. They could have done it then, used that amendment.
Oh, and I
But
see that Biden's like it has to be a national security matter, and
mhm,
I see then Mark Rutte and so forth.
yeah,
So that's what it is. So again, it's not it's it makes perfect sense. The logic is flawless, but in practice, the system, the law is perfect, the system is rigged. Like in that,
right,
I know it's a word that Trump uses, but truly, look at the history of Trump. He's never been to prison.
right. Well, and he used the words because he always tells you what he's done.
That's right, exactly,
Trump always tells you what he's done,
exactly.
and
So,
he's rigged the system. It's kind
wow.
of like the enemy within.
Hmm.
Don't worry, we got it fixed. You'll never have to vote. He tells you everything you need to know.
Hmm.
So, but
Wow.
yeah, it won't work this time. That won't work for him.
Wow. Okay. All right. So
Interesting.
interesting. Pero no, so okay, cool. Very cool, right?
Yep.
Cool. Wow. Okay. All right. So this is it, guys, I think for today. All right. So
Hmm.
thank you for watching.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay?
Be back tomorrow. Bye.
Bye bye.